Hey guys, Misty here, and yes, that is indeed correct. I am in VR. You can see I've got the little hand controls, and yes, it is fucking amazing. Yes, we are in VR, and I am playing a VR game known as Hot Dogs, Horseshoes, and Hand Grenades. Now, a couple of things to note before we get started. I'm experimenting with this particular build. Um, you may you may not actually see the grid squares. I don't know how it works in the recording. We'll probably find out that it probably doesn't show them. But basically, I have got my room set up for VR. Yes, gone are the days where there is a bed there. Now it is nothing, and I have this glorious room, which ironically is a lot better than the standing thing, because I was constantly bumping into that, which was a bitch. Anyway, so I am doing VR, and that is a hot dog. But yes, no, I'm in the game, and yes, the quick notes. Okay, first of all, microphone. Obviously, I don't have a headset at the moment that is capable of working with a long cable or wireless. I don't really want to go near wireless because, as per usual, knowing my luck, what will happen is during a very critical recording, the little bastard will turn off and break. Ooh, there's something coming. Oh, hang on. I might have to adjust on occasion just to see what's going on. There is something down there. God, if you have vertigo, don't look. But if you do, sucker! Anyway. So, yes, so for the cases of this particular setup, the microphone will just have to be over there. I will try and acclimatise as much as humanly possible. That is a giant fucking hot dog. I will be acclimatising as much as possible with regards to my vocational placement. Luckily for you guys, I am a loud bastard to the detriment of my parents. Hopefully my voice will be able to carry over towards where you are. I assume because of the setup and everything that the microphone is just down there where my little VR thing is set up. So, without further ado, what we're going to do now is I'm going to go over to one of the simulator sectors right as I figure out that there is a wire right underneath me. So how you maneuver around in this particular game is there's a button, which I'll mark for you, this laser here. This little button here on the remote allows me to maneuver. Admittedly, I've got it set up so that wherever I'm looking is where I can go. But if you go to the movement options, you can see you can change around. There's a few things. This is actually where you can get your menu, which is really nice. You can also get a menu by looking as such on this as well, as the particular instructions will dictate, as it is already awesome. But for the time being, we're just going to roll with where I look because it's a lot easier, and also it allows me to have a much more freedom and flow. And oh yeah, to prove that this is VR, what? Shot and a half. There you go. See, you proved it. Anyway, yep, that is in fact the wardrobe. Right. Okay. So what we're going to start with is I'm just going to jump onto the indoor range. And that way then, you guys can see... Ooh, you probably get to see this as well. That's what they look like in real... Oh, okay, never mind. Right, okay, so we are at the indoor range. Now, if you've not seen NerdCube's video with regards to how and what this game is, if you haven't, I highly recommend you check it out. It's a very awesome video. But for those interested in this game, then, yeah, this is basically a simulation slash, in my opinion, Funbox simulator. There are a variety of rooms. This one is my personal favourite. There is another one which I think is even more awesome, but because of noise and all that shit, we're just going to have it in this particular one. I'll go into the next one in that perhaps a future video. So yes, as I said, the room, there may be a period, by the way. Again, the setup is not perfect. I've got kind of, I don't know if it actually shows it on these, but if you can see, I've just got it in there. There is where one of my stands are. I don't know if it shows up for you in the recording. And there is where another one of my stands are located. Now, because of this, they are actually higher up and pointing towards the ground, which means that there are points where we'll have a bit of a weird glitch. Like, for example, it's kind of... the remote is kind of hard to detect, luckily for that section. And unfortunately, there may be occasional loss of frames, because basically it's having a tough time tracking where some of the remotes go, and because I'm a big bastard, it also has occasional issue. So we're hopefully going to try and have that resolved in the future, but for the time being, here we go. Okay, so for this particular section, what is the quality settings here? Just double check. put it on. Yeah. Okay. We'll just toss it. There you go. That was really good. Anyway, so in this particular indoor range, we can set the range of things by. Let's go do that. And how you interact with this game is you use this little spherical thing here to indicate what you can do and touch. So, for example, if I want to pick up this magazine, I press the trigger. When the white sphere, as you can see, lights up, there's also a little vibration in your controller which allows you to do as what you will. Now, I've yet to master this. One more time. Well, it's a deagle, it's a heavy bastard. So yes. Anyway. So yes, in this particular simulation... God, what's happening to master frames? It's probably because of this. Anyway, oh yeah, that's the point. I'm recording. Normally I have a lovely smooth frames. Anyway, so when it comes to this game, what you can do is you can play around with guns, basically. It's the main core concept of this game is it's a firearms simulator. You have a variety of different weapons that you can choose from self-defense, SMGs, lever actions, you can get shotguns, you can get tube feds, you can get AA... Well, you can't get the AA-12. You have the icon for the AA-12, but not the AA-12 itself. I am disappointed. I'm hoping more comes. You have lever action. You can even get the famous RPG, if you want to prove it. There it is right here. I have an RPG, and if I want to use it, I can use it. I pick up the shell like so, and it is amazing. I can even load it, and now I'm a terrorist. So, yes, basically, you have the option of doing all of these amazing things. We'll get to you later. And it's just, in my opinion, it's my absolute favourite VR game I've ever played. It's just amazing. But yeah, so what we can do is, as I said, it's a gun simulator game, so the level of realism is incredible. I might have to tweak which particular program I record with this, but yeah, I might have to change it, but still. Again, this is the first time I've actually activated Linda doing actual recording, so not permanent. Anyway, so what you can do, as you can see, is I've just put the magazine in, cocked the gun, and using my right eye, I am somewhat shit at shooting. Let me try that again. There you go, that's more like it. So yes, this game just exudes realism. I mean, you can pick up, as I've just done, pick up the cartridge. Depending on how good a quality your eyes are, because for some reason I kind of go long-sighted when I'm in VR. It's hilarious. I'm short-sighted in real life and I'm long-sighted in VR. Oh, that was terrible. That was alright. Almost good. Well, anyway, so yes, this is just any fans of firearms out there, you'll love this. I love it. Shockingly, I am a fan. I'm surprisingly, or unsurprisingly, you may have discovered, I am a fan of firearms. So, pretty much that's the bare concept of the game. There are other things you can do with it. There are arena modes where you can spawn various bots. I will be making a video on that. We've also got a variety of little challenge environments. For example, there's a sniper range. There's a Wild West section with some revolvers, because you can, in fact, get revolvers, even single action ones. So if you're a fan of revolvers, this game is also for you. We've got a variety of different, types of assault weapons. You can even, if you may notice these little transparent bubbles, you can actually grab things and put guns in them. Or if you want to use magazines and have them as magazines, so you can take it out and quickly do whatever. For example, if I do this with the deagle, say I wanted to, if I was in a say for example I was in an arena environment, and I had to do like a quick reload. So I was like, quick reload. Obviously, BR. You know, so it just, ow. But yeah, so it allows you to sort of store items, and depending on the size of the bubble, depends on what kind of stuff you can put. So for example, I could technically store this pistol in that little tiny holster, and I could store the RPG in this bloody big holster. you can customize how your holster works if you go to the menu. You can have firearm options, and like you can. Oh, that's actually kind of cool. What you can do is you can have a quick belt, which allows you to have whatever kind of belt that you want to have. So if you don't really like this particular setup, it is in fact customizable. You can use 2 of your remotes. Oh, there we go. I think I might have to tweak the recording settings because I seem to have a loss of frames when I go down, and I'm not willing to tweak the settings to go low. So yeah, you can do pretty much do a lot of things, and as said, the simulation of this game is remarkable. The quality and detail in all of the weapons are absolutely beautiful. And another cool thing, this game, as said, is a simulation, so naturally, you have a simulation of all the weapons and how they work, and I'm going to kind of zoom from left to right as I prepare to fire this RPG. Luckily in this game there is no such thing as backblast, so in real life we would be fucked. But in this game, as it's a simulator... Really? Really? Useless hunk of junk. And yes, so awesome stuff like that. Let's reload this scene. So for today's video, I thought we would muck around a bit and have some fun with guns. And actually show a couple of my guns that I'd like to... Actually, I'm going to do is I'm going to show my favourite of a certain type. So we're going to have like a favourite pistol, a favourite shotgun, submachine gun, rifle, and then, well, obviously we'll get on to the other fun stuff. Then we'll finally finish off with the good old friendly stuff. So anyway, for pistols, as I said, you have a variety of different options. My personal favourite is the automatics. I am a massive fan of repeating pistols because sexy. All of them sexy. Though my absolute favourite in real life, though that is kind of changing. I'm not going to lie. This pistol, this is the 1911A1. It's got an ability. It's got an extra little threaded barrel. It has, of course, the classic design, firing a beautiful 45 ACP caliber pistol cartridge, which is lovely. Hang on, I'll even get one out for you so you can see what it... Oops. I will also drop the magazine because I'm a pleb. Right, so this is my favourite pistol caliber so far. It's got the ability to put someone down with force, but also it is a pistol caliber, so if you want someone to... It's a nice combination of both high-level firepower with, pretty good accuracy. Though my favourite version of this pistol has to be the 1911A1 Snake Eater model with, if any of you have played Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater, you'll no doubt know the lines talking about the grip of the thing has been welded down for a better grip, the slide's been reinforced, every aspect of the pistol has been customized professionally. It is my favourite scene in the entire game, and I can't chuck for shit. I said it's real life, so wait! Oh, God, I gotta try and do this. Wait! There we go! By the way, that bin despawns stuff. So, obviously, the more shit you spawn, the more it'll lag your game out. So, you put that in there, and it'll disappear stuff. But no, recently, since playing this game... Oh, by the way, quick mention. Yes, you can have the fucking broom handle. I love this. That's my favourite old pistol. But for modern pistols, I'm actually growing a little bit of a thing for this gun. The P250 still has the same caliber bullet, so, I haven't spawned too far off. But it's a nice, solid, big gun, and it's lovely. It has this, it looks good, it feels good. I know this is a simulation, so you could say, Misty, what you on about? You can't feel that. Trust me, when you're playing a video game, you feel it. But no, the detail is good, it comes with a flashlight, and it looks quite lovely. Magazine size, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 10 rounds. So, yes, 10 rounds, 3 more than the 1911, so that's even better. And it's a nice, solid pistol, you can quickly grab it, it's got good sights, and I've been messing around in the arenas with it, and it's proven to be quite an effective firearm, so we'll be having a bit of fun with that. Going on to... We'll have a look at revolvers, but we're not going to have a serious look, because I really don't like revolvers. I don't hate them, but I do not find them as useful as a 10 rounds P250. So, you know, but if I had to pick a favourite, I'm not going to lie, the R8 is actually a pretty solid beast. I mean, it's not a bad weapon. Just remember it's not that. What was that? Was it the Rhino? It was probably the Rhino, wasn't it? Or was it the one? No, it was the Rhino. Because I had like a good yeah, it was the Rhino. So, yeah, so the Rhino. It's a small revolver. I mean, that one was good. Aesthetically pleasing wise, this is a nice pistol. But as for actual handiness wise, for any actual handiness wise, it's actually a pretty awesome pistol. And if you want, we'll do a quick demonstration of how the speed loaders work. You can manually put rounds in like so. And this is kind of where the simulation can be a little fucky. Because as you can see by the outline of the controller I've got, the cylinder kind of impedes your ability to reload certain things. So now I've found by doing this, sometimes you have a really lucky reload like that, which never fucking happens when I'm not trying to prove a point. But basically on certain occasions, that little round there, the one where I'm spherically at, sometimes I have a real hard time because I'm going fronk, 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 and it just won't go. So what happens is I have to go like that, and then because I've set it up and one of the cylinders has moved, I can actually move the cylinder back in. But no, this is a really awesome pistol, and also it's fairly accurate. So if we go over to here, and we'll set the range, the natural range of anything to like 10 meters. So it's sort of, it's a bit of a distance away, but it's all right. And then that was terrible. Tries to prove accuracy of revolver, but can't hit for shit. There we go. But yeah, so it's actually quite a nice little revolver, and while I wouldn't take it into an arena mode with me, I definitely do like it. It's a nice little thing. Actually, here's a cool thing. So, obviously, it's like, oh, how do you reload it? Because, like, you press down on certain stuff. So, for example, if I put that there, if you wanted to reload a magazine on a pistol, you press down on the little D-pad, which is the little thing here, and voila, magazine. Oh, wow! Nice! Nice! Oh, bollocks. We'll put it in again. Sorry. There you go. Does it put it in? Yes, it is. Cool. Right, so when you're reloading a revolver, it's slightly different. So what you instead do is you press left on the D-pad, left on the... Oh, is it down? No, it's left. Why? Pistol, why you no respond? Game. What you doing? Oh, you have to... Yeah, okay, so if you do that, it kind of automatically cocks. So what you have to do is fire it, obviously. And as you can see, you can't really... Get off. You have to. What you do instead is you see that little thing, you thump it, and all the bullets go down, which is lovely. So that's my favourite revolver. Machine pistol. Actually, surprisingly, well, there are two types of machine pistols that are kind of grabbing, which automatically grabbed my attention. The first is this. If any of you may have seen Equilibrium, then yeah, this thing is amazing. It even has the awesome. It also has the the flash from the film. God, get in there. That's awesome. I love it. I might be wrong about that being from Equilibrium, but I can't remember. But I do remember there was a pistol that was very similar to that. And of course, there's obviously the famous G18, which has the G22 in this case, which if you have the high capacity magazine, you thump it in like so. If you can actually put it in like so, or in like my case, you just fumble around like a retard. And then you, like so, you can have fun with that pistol as well. But surprisingly, there is actually a pistol that I've found that is actually not too bad. It's this thing. I know. Not only is it French, but it's also good. Two things I don't think I'd ever put in the same sentence. So, yes, this is the Union French. I have no idea when this particular model was designed, but you can tell it's French. It's like trying to compensate for something much. And I don't know whether this was because that is the magazine, by the way, And yes, that is what it looks like. I will be honest with you, I don't know whether the designer of this game picked this because it looks like a horseshoe and it's kind of in keeping with the theme. We'll just have to work on that one. But yeah, so basically, this thing goes in like so, and yeah. But here's the interesting thing. It actually isn't that bad, which is surprising. Again, another thing I'd never think I'd say about a French object. So, for example, there's no sights though, so it's not all perfect. But yeah. Like, it's not bad. There's no recoil and it's fairly easy to aim. I mean, I will advise about one thing about VR. Because the best way to describe VR, at least the experience of wearing a VR headset, and you go, drop in there, is a bit like putting your face up against a screen when you were a kid and you had like a really, there was a show that you absolutely loved. It's a bit, you know, and you put your face right up against the screen. Well, that's basically what VR is. So there are points where I can see the little pixels and the grids and stuff regarding what, you know, of the actual game itself. So the absolute fine quality print is a little hard for me to see still. I am still getting used to it. And I am luckily to report I do not get motion sickness from this. But if you do suffer from certain levels of motion sickness, sit down when you first try it, because otherwise it'll fuck with your head. Anyway, so going on to breech loading. There is only one breech loader, and I'll be honest with you, I haven't really messed around with this. So obviously that's to... Obviously this is like a very old-fashioned pistol. Oh, okay. So is it down? It's down. You get this pistol caliber round, which you can spawn, you thump it in, you figure out what the controls are, and then you toss it in the bin because it's useless. Anyway, so there's that. And finally you've got a lever action pistol, which is the volcanic. Of course it is. Now, annoyingly, I don't know whether this is a method. I don't know whether this is actually how you're meant to do it. It talks about fumbling around with the lever action weapons. But I honestly don't really... Wow, seriously, that's the round. Useless. Junk. Of course you did that. Anyway, so I'm not a big fan of the revolving, the lever action things, because you can't kind of do that. And if for anyone's curious, yes, you do have the famous 1887, but I can't figure out how to do that. It won't let me do that. I have to fumble around doing that, which is annoying. Anyway, we'll now go on to shotguns. My favourite shotgun. I was actually originally went with this, which is a beautiful 870 Remington. In order to cock the weapon back, you have to use the little thing and hold the trigger as you pull the weapon back. Get the shell, hit there left on the D-pad, reload like so, and then, like a real shotgun would, you get the round stuck in the gun and you break the gun because you're so good at shotguns. Which is just pretty fucking awesome. This just is amazing. What kind of surprised me and to a degree kind of worried my parents when I first showed them this was just how much I knew instantly how to use the gun. It was like, oh, you know how to use that without even thinking. That's not worrying at all. Anyway, so yes, how you use the shotguns, you pull the trigger, have an orgasm, you cock it back doing the same thing as before to cock the weapon. Oh. Clip. There you go. Lovely spread. Lovely, lovely spread. My saddest point the saddest point for me is that unfortunately this game does not have the 1897 Trent shotgun, which is my absolute favourite shotgun of all time. Regretfully, we don't have that. So instead, I would say that. But this one is not bad either. It is pretty much the same as the Remington, only slightly sexier. What is it with this game and shotguns not doing as I tell them to? Honestly. Oh yeah, let's chuck away the ammunition to save on loading. Anyway, going on to magazine fed, you only have two options, the Saiga or a bolt pistol. Obviously, they say it's a KWG-1, but really, It's a bolt pistol. And I don't care what you say, people of the internet, and people who are fans of this gun in real life. This is a bolt pistol. Why? Well, I'm sorry, this is a bolt pistol. It's a shotgun variant of the bolt pistol, but let's just say the Space Wolves probably need this. Or the Raven Guard, I don't care. It's a bolt pistol. Deal with it. See? Bolt pistol. He says as he fails to throw. So, yes, that's the bolt pistol. One of my favourite shotguns. The Saiga is awesome, don't get me wrong. You have a massive drum mag you can pick from, which is another cool thing, is that there are different types of ammunition in this game. Let me just go to the medicinal. Utility. Stored. There you go. Oop. There are different types of ammunition which you can choose from. So, for example... So as you can see, there's different types of ammunition you can choose from. And this is just the shotgun caliber, but you can select from a variety of like 4 different selections of caliber. It's absolutely hilarious. It's awesome how realistic this is. But even, for example, let's say the 12 gauge shotgun, we have the option of putting in Dragon's Breath. So if we spawn that, there's a Dragon's Breath shell. So what we need to do... Oh, hang on, we need to set the safety off. We'll probably have to get one of those fake shotguns. Or fake shotguns. Fake news. Anyway, let's just put you in the bin. Quickly get a tube fair just so we can experiment. Right, well... Oh. No. We'll just go with that. Right, so... Here you go, Dragon's Breath round. Put you in. And then... See? As awesome this game is. I love it. So fucking awesome. Oh yes, clearing up the scene. You can do this to basically remove all the cartridges on the ground. So, yeah. That's how awesome this game is. And you can fuck around... Hello. Yep, told you. There was a bit of a whole tracking issue thing going on, so my trackers are going... Right, anyway. So, yes. The Saiga is pretty awesome, but my favourite is the bolt gun. And then, of course, there's lever action. How on to the awesome bit. Now, I realise we're probably going to be a while here, so I'll just give you a quick glimpse as to certain things. You can have up to this variety of submachine guns. Favourite one of the bunch, MP5A2. The Bison is incredible, don't get me wrong, but the MP5A2 was what I grew up with as a kid. I had a toy version of that. And because I didn't have an M16A2 with an M203, I pretended that was a grenade launcher. Because I didn't know any better. You can also grab the famous weapons, the P90, the PP2000, the Kada, all sorts of awesome things, including that weapon, which is the QC9. It's actually quite nice. It only fires 9x90mm, but still, shit ton of ammunition, as you can see there, which is lovely. As said, there are lever action weapons here, but I don't know how to get the damn thing to go kink like that, so you'll have to tell me in the comment section down below. There are also a variety of carbines. You've got yourself a semi-automatic carbine shorty there. We have obviously got the AK-74U, which is glorious. The UG, the Commando. The Commandos aren't actually that bad weapons. We even have the G36C, which I even have a toy form of that, which is in BB form known as the M41. I kind of like that name over the G36C, but still. But you have all those kind of weapons, which is awesome. Going on to the next one, we have our assault rifles. And as you can see, we have the AK-101, the AK-47, or AKM, as its more modern derivative, G36, Gali, M2, IA2, sorry, LAD-5A2, and an LAD-5-2 with a SUSAT. My absolute favourite of this game so far, the M16A1. Then, of course, there's the M4A1. There's this thing known as the Mark 18, which kind of looks like a more futuristic version of the M4, or a Block 2 M4. But that's not as awesome as an M16A1. And if we go to the next section, you do have the Scar 16 and the FAMAS, famous not only because it's a French weapon that is also good, but also because Metal Gear Solid 1 is an absolute fantastic weapon on that. If any of you played it and gone up to the tower sequence in Metal Gear Solid 1, you will, and if you had the bandana on, by the way, you were in a good place then. Anyway, so we've got that, which will be my weapon of choice. We also have the DMRs, basically Dragunov M14, special version of it, the mass, which is, again, a surprising weapon that is good. And finally, the Scar, which is the H edition, if I'm not mistaken. Sorry, that is dripping in sweat. Unfortunately, this headset, for some reason, makes my face really warm. So, that sounds really horrible, but it's not like that, you pervy bastards. Anyway, so you can have a lot of fun with these things. Now, just because, by the way, this is in a section of DMR, it does not mean it's single shot only. You can have an automatic, for example, the Scar and everything like that. And then we have the anti-everything sniper rifle, which, of course, everyone knows what this gun is. If you don't, you're living in the past. And finally, we have a very limited selection of bolt-action sniper rifles. You have the Sacco 85, the Tactical 8400, and their shorter derivatives. So, there you go on that one. And then finally, we've got a variety of support. We have the Ordnance, which of course we saw the RPG from earlier, and the Thumper, which is pretty fucking awesome as well on that. And of course, you all know what this is, and of course, you all know what that is, but I'm not going to show you that till the end. So anyway, going on to... Let's go on for a shooting fest, shall we? So, another cool thing, you have a melee selection. You can have tactical or improvised, and yes, that is a chainsaw. To prove it, there you go. Isn't that lovely? So if you fancy killing someone in virtual reality with a chainsaw, you can thank me later. But for now, what we're going to do, I'm going to pick this up, I'm going to dump that in the bin, because I don't want that chainsaw. In the bin you go, you pleb. There you go. And you can take your mag with you. What we're going to do is we're going to work with this. So I'm going to go to my assault rifles category, M16A1. You have a variety of different mags you can choose from. There you go. You can either have the traditional 20 rocks round box mag, and another cool thing about this game, as talking about the hyper sense of realism, this gun is on safe at the moment, so even if I cock it, it's not going to fire because it's on safe. If I press left on the D-pad, it's now on semi-automatic. And if I go left again, it's on full auto. Oh. So yes, this is an awesome thing. But for now, we're gonna roll. You can even have the Patriot gun. Well, you can turn this into the Patriot with the Patriot magazine. I'm afraid to report one particular downside. It's unfortunately limited on ammo. So, sadly for us, we're just going to have to accept the fact that the boss had a magical ability and just be stuck with our M16A2 variant 30 round box mag. Well, yeah, 30 round box mag anyway, so. Right, I'm going to store this on my person. Grab the pistol, put that there. Grab you, put you there. And finally, what we're going to do is we're going to grab a grenade. What we do is we go to utilities, ordnance, there we go. Then go to grenade and get the most important thing, of course, the banana. This thing is dangerous. If we get a candle, utility, we need to get a utility. We need a lighter. Right, let's get a lighter going. Right. What you do, you grab the banana. It's a very important step here. When it comes to working with bananas, you have to be careful. If you fuck up, you die very quickly. You light the banana, you throw the banana, and you pray to God no one's nearby. See what I mean? It's fucking dangerous. Anyway, so for the sake of safety, we're just going to get ourselves a regular old hand grenade, because I don't want to fuck with that banana and make a mistake, because this game is notorious for murdering you if you're not careful when it comes to bananas. Okay, so for this particular section now, we're just going to have a bit of fun mucking around with my M16 and my pistol. So we'll go with a few burst fire rounds from this, and then we'll quickly get the pistol out, chuck a grenade, and I'll get on to my favourite bit last of all. So you can actually, as I said here, you can grab the you can grab the left-hand side of the barrel, like so, and if you really want to up the realism, you can hold your remote in the sort of way that you would be if you held a real rifle. And I don't know which side of the game it will record onto, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of shimmy from the right to the left, because I tend to aim... Oh yeah, I also need to raise my head a bit, because for some reason when I do that, I always do that, which kind of blocks the line of sight. So, we'll raise my head up. Should have set it to semi. We'll hold it like so. And I'm going to kind of shove it right in my face, even though I shouldn't do this in real life. The magazine out. We put this in here. No. Oh bollocks! I forgot to spawn another mag. Oh well, that's fine. Anyway, let's get my pistol out, shall we? And let's see how we did. We actually did pretty good there. That was probably the first burst fire effect, but everything else was a nice solid in the centre. So, 257 points. Let's see how we do with this pistol. Now, I tend to fire my pistols a bit like this. Standing as if like that, but what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to put my controller on the bed, so it's on my bed now, and use both of my hands to steady my shot, and mainly to steady my hand whilst I shoot. Oh, isn't that a cool thing? Squeeze and the drip. Never mind, let's just get on with it. Alright, that's that taken care of. Awesome sauces. How do we do? Really? Oh, we got a bullseye as well. Brilliant. So there you go. Not bad. I mean, obviously I got more points because I fired only 10 rounds and one of them missed. But not bad at all. See? Last one is all that matters. So, there you go. Oh, and the grenade, of course. Haha, an excuse to fire 10 more rounds. There you go. Oh, would you look at the... No, I'm not gonna... I've already spent 20 rounds, so it's all good. Let's clear up the scene so that there's no magazines or things we have to worry about. Anyway, probably should be more safe. There we go. See, I'm a responsible firearms user. And grenade! Well, shit. Remember, kids, if you have where the fuck did the pin... Oh, never mind. Anyway. Yes, so, to wrap things up, let us get, of course, the most obvious of ordnance. That little thing. And when I say little, I mean big. Oh my god, this is going to be ridiculous. So, I have constructed, having played this game for a duration. Fuck. As you can see, I've played this game for a very long time and have expert ideas. So, how to use the M134 handheld edition of the minigun. Now, first of all, the most important instruction is to admire the weapon. Not because you have a raging hard-on and you're super eager to fire this thing, but you need to to examine the intricate details of this weapon so you are familiar with how to use it. Oh, yes. Yes, yes, yes. It is a very useful weapon. You can see by the motor system along here and along here that this thing can get up to very fast firing rates, which is very important if the fact that it's a minigun. Whoa, whoa, whoa! Magazine got excited. That's also why you have to be careful. The magazine itself is alive. It's like, I want to shoot, shimmy, shimmy. And, you know, it's alright, it's okay. You're going to get shot. Alright. Now, when you load this thing, in all seriousness, you have to load it like so. Carefully. You drop. And it automatically feeds itself in because it's a good... You know, I'm starting to lose credibility, magazine. Could you do what I ask? There you go. And as you can see now, the magazine has properly put itself into position. Now, when firing... Right, we're going to give ourselves a bit of a marksman challenge as well. We are going to go 30 meters. So, in order to fire this thing without this particular device flying off into the distance, you must hold it by this, and you must assume the position of the badass. Yes, because that is the official position to form. Right, so, without further ado, once you've established that you are indeed a badass, you must have an official badass line. My one is, "Say hello to my little friend!" Not looking. Fuck, ran out of ammo. And that is how you safely use and have marksman skills. That is how you safely use and have a good ability to shoot with marksman skills on the minigun. And, yeah, so remember, kids, when you want to be absolutely sure you want to hit the target, as you can see, there you go. So that's how you shoot the minigun. Now, how to be good at really getting that marksman skill, you know, that stuff that make you noticed by everyone else, is to position it like so and go, give me that fucking 100th point, you fucker. And like that, we are fucking... There you go! Bullseye! That's how you do it. Anyway, guys, that's it from me. I hope you've enjoyed. And if you like this kind of content, let me know in the comment section down below, clicking on the like button, and of course subscribing to the channel. I will be changing things up. I will be getting a new microphone which will allow me to communicate with you without sounding like I'm on the other side of the street. I will obviously get the rig set up so that this particular setup, this one over here, and that one over there will be hopefully good enough that it will detect all the movement. We won't have any kind of drops or frames or whatever. But that's it from me. Thank you very much for watching. I will catch you next time. This is Misty, signing out. Now you hit it.